My name is Ellie Hodgson. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin.
I want to hear about your experience of gender in the workplace. Can you describe where you work in as much detail as possible?
Okay, I work at a place called Swim West, which is a swim school for children. So basically, they have two different locations, and all the staff work at both of the locations. Um, it's a pretty small. There's about 50 employees. Um, Everyone teaches swimming lessons, pretty much, or works at the front desk. Most of the people that work there, well, the managers are like women, and then most of the employees are high school and college kids.
Can you describe your typical day at work?
Sure. So usually we get there in the morning. We'd have to set up the pool, so like take the pool cover off, set up the toys and like the teaching tools around the pool, check the chemicals, and then when kids started to get there, we would have to like take out like the play area stuff, and then we would get in the pool, teach lessons. So if you were an instructor that day, you would teach lessons for like 4-hour shifts. And sometimes I would be a deck manager, so then I would just stand on the deck and kind of observe and help teachers if they had kids that were being bad. And after a shift, you have to clean up for a while and make sure like the building was locked up and stuff, and then we'd leave. So most of my coworkers are like, I guess most of them are around my age. There's a few like older people that work. I would say high schoolers, like juniors and seniors from Madison and like some of the suburbs. A few other people that work there that are just like old ladies that are just retired.
Do your coworkers, like your similar age people, do the same work that you do, or do they specialize in other areas or other strokes and things like that, or what is that?
So everyone, when they start working there, you have to be, well, most people start as an instructor. So then you're supposed to like know how to teach all the levels. So most of the new people work with like the older kids because the parents aren't as like mean and strict, and there's not as much stuff you can mess up. So that's what most of the new people do. And then the majority of people that work there just stay as instructors, but you kind of have more like choice of what you want to teach, and you get to like teach the little kid classes if you want to when you've been working there for a long time. I worked there for 2 years, and then I became a deck manager, so that was just like basically just like observing people, and it was a little bit more like responsibility, but there wasn't as many people that did that.
Did you notice any specific activities that the men did more than the women did?
So there wasn't like a ton of men that worked there, but I did notice that usually when the guys were teaching the younger kids, they would be really nervous with like the babies, and they didn't like to teach the babies, and they didn't really like to talk to the parents, who were mostly moms, like who were really nervous about their kids going underwater and stuff. So usually the guys would like teach the older kids. They were like a lot more nervous, I guess. I don't know really why, but they were usually nervous to hold little kids. They were scared they were gonna like hurt them. I think like in general, like girls had more experience like doing stuff like babysitting and like, I don't know, like helping out with younger siblings or cousins or something, and guys were more uninterested in that. So maybe they just hadn't had a lot of experience with little kids before.
Can you tell me about a time that your own gender or the gender of a coworker was an issue?
In the summer, we had like a summer camp, and a lot of the kids like kids would like go in the locker rooms to change, and the guys weren't allowed to like go get the girls out of the locker room if they were taking too long, or if they needed help getting their swimsuits on. But the girls like the female counselors were allowed to go in the boys' bathroom. I think that's just like kind of how we're raised. Like I feel like a lot of like rapes and stuff are done by guys, so that just, and a lot of like weird like pedophilia things with teachers and stuff. So there's like a lot of like legal rules about even like anyone going in the locker rooms with the kids, but like there's a lot more rules for the guys. There's more inequality because like a lot of women have kids and they have to take a lot of time off work, and they kind of get like, I don't know, like behind, like they want to spend more time at home, or like they have to take time off after they have a baby. So they like there's kind of like stigma around like they're not doing the same amount of work, I guess.
You ever feel like men are trusted with certain jobs more than women, and or on the other hand, women are trusted with certain jobs more than men are?
Well, I feel like men are often like sent to do the maintenance tasks, like cleaning out the pool and that kind of thing, and like carrying stuff from the supply trucks and stuff. And the women are more focused on just like teaching and playing with the kids.
How do you think this issue of inequality can be changed for the future?
Well, I feel like a lot of people just like do that kind of stuff without really realizing it, and like I don't know, like lifting stuff out of the trucks. I feel like the girls are like perceived as weaker usually, so I feel like I don't really know how you would change it, but I think in general, if just more people were like aware of the problem, I feel like a lot of people like hear about it, but they're just kind of like, oh, it's not really a thing. Like people just made it up. But I feel like if more people were aware of it and they actually like realized that there was a problem, then it would be easier to address it because like if every individual person kind of like started to shift their perspective on it overall, it would be able to shift too.